The one that I learned, this is early on when I was coming in, I had my master's. I was pretty certain I was just this incredibly effective therapist. I was working with a young man who was there because he had murdered his father. It was in self-defense. He was abusing his mother, but he stabbed him in the chest in order to stop that from happening. And he may have been the most serious person we had taken into the program to that point. He and I had worked together for months and months and months, and I worked the late nights because I had mornings off for school. So we would spend time playing dominoes. He was incredibly smart, and we would talk through the kinds of things, the traumas that he had lived with, and trying to move him forward. A few weeks before he graduated, he got into a fight in the program, which was uncanny. It had not happened, and did a pretty good job in group discussing it. But later came to me and said, Chris, you know, I owe you an apology. Said, I'm not sure why. He said, well, for, you know, that fight last week. And I said, okay, you dealt with that in group. You don't owe me an apology. I said, well, no, the reason why. And he confided that basically while we were working in that environment that his peers had learned that he had my attention pretty well. So they were able to get away with some things while I was focused on him that I should have been doing a better job supervising at that point. The impact part of that was that our relationship had gotten to the point that the fight was because he told them he couldn't do it anymore, and that he was going to come clean in group for the fact that, look, you know, you guys have been getting away with this stuff while, you know, Chris and I have been talking about my things. It told me a lot about the power of relationship, the power of how far we could come with him in terms of feeling a loyalty to a staff member that he'd only known for 8 months, as opposed to folks that he was sort of connected to by virtue of how they'd gotten there.